Hi, welcome to the Boca Voice and Fact or Fiction Friday. I'm here with my dear friend Robert Weinroth. Robert, so great to have you.
Peter, it's great to be here with you today.
So tell me, what's going on out in the county?
Well, the county has been really good. We're out and about visiting with a lot of the people here in the county, just talking about the issues. There are a lot of great things going on. We're preparing for the Boca Raton Bowl coming up now in a few months. And really, it's really a great place to live. The humidity's out of the air, and this is really, the best time to be down here.
Last night we went out and saw the Batmazians event. That was an incredible event.
It was amazing. I mean, Jim and Marta do so much in our community, and their passion for the homeless is something that everybody knows about. And they have a new nonprofit called Home, and it really is doing something to help people that are down on their luck and trying to help them, not with a handout, but with a hand up.
They really do that. I can't believe how much and how many hands they have in so much of our community. It really is remarkable.
Jim and Marta, again, have been very, very philanthropic in our community, and people really don't understand that because they do it very, very quietly.
And speaking of how many different events, there is not an event that I go to in town that I do not see you and Pam. How do you get to every place in town?
Well, there's two ways. One, I don't know if you know, but Pamela actually has a little side business, which is a Boca Calendar. And what she's done, because I was on the city council for 4 years and was always looking to be out and about our county and our city, she has actually got a website up now which has all of the events for the community. And this is a great way for people who are having events to make sure they're not scheduling it when there's another event going on. And then people like you and I who want to see what's going on in the community can just go onto our website and see what's happening.
What's the URL for that?
I believe it's bocacal.com, and I'm sorry I didn't have that ready for you.
That's okay. We'll make sure we put the URL on our site.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Great. So, what are you finding out when you go out into the community and you go out into the county? What are some of the big hot topics?
Well, I think everybody is pretty excited about living here in Boca Raton and living in South Florida. We are so fortunate here. We have the best weather, we have economic development here, we have great schools here, and it really is, I think that there's no other place in the world that I would rather live. And, there are people that say, oh, you've destroyed the city, and I step back and I say, how can you say that? I mean, our city is vibrant. We have these restaurants here now. We have a great deal of opportunity. We have the Mandarin Orientals going to be coming in a couple of years. And I think that, people on a whole are really excited about what's going on in our community, and they really are, embracing what's gone on over the last 5 or 6 years. If there is criticism, it's about the traffic, and certainly you can't say that there isn't traffic congestion, but I would rather have congestion than it be a ghost town. And I know that the City Council is working on that. There are plans to try and deal with the additional traffic that comes from people wanting to be where the action is. And, I think that there are issues that we need to address. Workforce housing is going to be one that I'm hopefully going to be able to address if I do make it up onto the county commission. But on the whole, this is a sweet spot, and this is the place where I planted my flag, you planted your flag, and everybody who's living here in Boca made the decision that this was where the action is and this is where they want to be.
Do you think that for a while they were fed so much rhetoric that maybe that's why they may think that our town had the feeling that the town was destroyed?
Look, I think that you're always going to have people who are going to not agree with the direction you're going. And sometimes it's a minority, but very vocal. And then when you get into the political climate, and we've just gone through 2 elections over the last few years because we had a special election and we had the normal cycle of elections. And every time you have an election, people come out on both sides of issues and trying to turn things into something that I don't think they are. You can stand at the corner and say, there are too many cars passing by, or you can stand by a couple of buildings and say, well, they're too tall. But at the end of the day, I think that if you take this community and look at it in a whole, it has so many opportunities for people. You can live on the water, you can live in the urban core, you can live in a golf club community, and you have the opportunity to put your children in a public school, which is A-rated. You can put in a private school, you can use a charter school, you can homeschool. There are so many opportunities, and the great thing is we have choices.
Now, you happen to be running for office again.
Again, as a matter of fact, I am.
So tell us about that.
Well, as you know, I stepped off the city council in April and made the decision that there was an opportunity at the county level. As you probably know, Stephen Abrams, who's been on the county commission for the last 10 years, is termed out. And Stephen has been a great public servant. Stephen started his public service right here in Boca Raton. He was on the city council, he was our mayor, and eventually he was appointed by Governor Christ to succeed to Mary McCarty on the county commission. And he was then reelected twice, and unfortunately, with term limits, he has to step off. With that, I looked at that opportunity and said, you know what, after 4 years being on the city council, having the experience of being in a collaborative body, being able to work on the issues of our city, and also being on a bunch of county boards, I felt that this was an opportunity for us to have a representative on the county commission from Boca Raton.
That's great. So tell us how that campaign trail is going.
Well, you know what? I'm feeling very positive. As you probably also know, we're right in the middle of early voting. Early voting started on Monday, and we have a very convenient location right here in Boca Raton at our city library over the downtown library. There's another location at FAU. There's another location up at the South County Civic Center. And those polls are open from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. And because of a very complicated ballot this year, because there's going to be a lot of questions on it, it's actually a 4-page ballot.
Wow.
Yeah, it's going to be complicated, and people are probably receiving right now a copy of a sample ballot if they didn't ask for a ballot by mail. They should look at that because there are 13 questions on there, very important questions having to do with our community that they're going to be asked to vote on. And there are a lot of candidates. We have the governor, we have the senator, we have me, and there are decisions to be made. And with all of that going on with a 4-page ballot, it behooves people to take advantage of early voting and get it done before the 4th of November, which is when early voting will end. Because on November 6th, I think it's going to be very, very crowded. And there'll be delays, and people are going to get frustrated. And certainly, if you can get that out of the way before the 6th, it's going to be really much better for you.
Sure. So tell us a little bit about some of your platform.
Well, my platform is really to do what we've already done, which is make this community just better. And, while I'm going to be hopefully elected from District 4, which is Boca Raton, Delray Beach, Boynton Beach, the Barrier Island, easy for me to say, up to South Palm Beach, it's a county-wide position. So I'm going to be looking at issues of workforce housing, which is very important in our county. And it's important because people are working in our county, but they can't live here. And that creates congestion on our roadways, and it's also unfair to people who can't enjoy what we have here, our parks and recreation and our schools, because they have to live either south or west or north. So workforce housing is going to be one of the imperatives that I would be looking at when I do get on to the county commission, if I'm honored by the voters to be there. And I think that, that is one of the areas I'm going to focus on if I'm there. The other area I want to focus on is mental health. We know about what happened down in Parkland, and that's just one of the situations that's happened because of people who are not getting the proper mental health care that they need. I think Mr. Cruz had a lot of problems in his life, and certainly doesn't excuse what happened down in Parkland, but we are seeing homelessness, we're seeing suicides, we're seeing a lot of murders, and again, we're seeing this random violence, which is also in the schools. This all translates back into issues with people who need to have mental health issues dealt with. so that they're not hurting themselves and so they're not hurting others. So that's also affecting the opioid crisis. People are winding up that they're using drugs to try and deal with their personal issues. So, mental health, workforce housing, those are two critical issues that I see for our county.
Well, Bob, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it, and we look forward to seeing you again, and good luck with your campaign.
Well, thank you very much, Peter. I'm looking forward to seeing you again real soon.
Great. Thank you for joining us on Fact or Fiction Friday. We look forward to seeing you next week. And once again, don't forget to follow us online on Facebook and on Instagram on thebocavoice.com.